Back at it again, and we've got to talk about this whole McCarthy being ousted situation a little bit more. We've got to dive in a little bit deeper. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button if you are new, and let's dive in. Now, the swamp creatures have come out in full force. Take a look.
96% of the Republicans voted for McCarthy. 4% voted against him. From my position as a longtime Republican activist, they're traitors. All 8 of them should, in fact, be primaried. They should all be driven out of public life. What they did was to go to the other team to cause total chaos. We ought to be focusing on Biden. We ought to be focusing on the economy. We ought to be focusing on the border. Instead, you're going to get a week or 10 days of the media focusing on Republican disarray. It's an astonishingly destructive behavior by a handful of egocentric people who think they're superior to 96% of the conference.
Who think they're superior than 96% of the conference. Now, I made a poll on Twitter, and yeah, the people have spoken. So as you can see here, 269 of you have voted. By the way, if you're not following me on Twitter, give me a follow and go and vote. So I asked, do you agree with Matt Gaetz or Kevin McCarthy? It's 90% basically, 89.6 to 10%. 90% agree with Matt Gaetz. Only 10 agree with Kevin McCarthy. So again, Mr. Newt, who are we supposed to be standing with again? Because the people, now listen, it's just a small poll. It was 270 of you. Okay, it's just a tiny little poll. Okay, I get it. Right? I get it. It's a small sample size. But even before, in previous polls that I took, the first time that they were voting for Speaker of the House, most people did not want Kevin McCarthy. As a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, Kevin McCarthy was consistently last in those polls. So again, Newt, who are we supposed to be standing with? I'm just confused. You know, I thought they worked for the people. I don't know. But of course, you know, old Swamp Mitch had to come out and say something, of course. Check it out.
I'd like to start by thanking Speaker McCarthy.
Of course.
For his service. We had a great personal relationship.
I bet you did.
Trying to lead two very different parts of the American government. I think he has much to be proud of. We avoided a government shutdown. We did the inevitable with regard to the debt ceiling. And I'm one person who's extremely grateful for his service. I have no advice to give to House Republicans except one.
We don't need it.
I hope whoever the next speaker is gets rid of the motion to vacate. I think it makes the speaker's job impossible. And the American people expect us to have a functioning government. On the Senate side, we need to get as many appropriation bills passed as possible. The majority leader's indicated that's what he would like to do as well, and he'll have plenty of cooperation from us in trying to achieve as close to a regular appropriations process as we possibly can.
What a joke, huh? What a absolute joke. That guy has to go. I mean, he has to go immediately. It's just absolutely ridiculous how this guy is still in the Senate. I mean, this stuff. Man, what a swamp creature. What a swamp creature. But, you know, I'm happy Matt Gaetz did this because, you know, it really forced the swamp creatures to come out. Like, Newt, you know? Obviously, I'm still new to politics, and, you know, I'm just now kind of discovering even some folks like Newt, right? I mean, I've seen his face and everything, but, you know, I haven't like done extensive research on Newt, but now that I saw that, it's just like, maybe I don't need to. You basically told me everything that I needed to know, Mr. Newt. But that obviously leaves the next question. Who should become Speaker of the House? Well, I think we at least have a couple people. Check it out.
Will you change?
Change the motion to vacate.
Is all
That's up to the conference. That's not my call.
what promises are you making? What promises are you making to the conference? Policy wise, agenda wise.
The agenda is what I spoke about on the floor monitor. We need to pass the bills that need to be passed. We've done a lot of that. Biggest one, of course, is H.R. 2, the Immigration Border Security legislation. Frankly, I wish Chuck Schumer would bring it up. He can amend it. He can change it. But take it up. It's the biggest. I think Mayor Adams is somewhere in Central America as we speak. This is how bad this problem is. Democrats get it. Republicans get it. Independent Americans get it. So bring it up. Make changes to it. Then let's go to a conference committee. Hash it out. We'll have Republicans, Democrats, hash it out. They'll get a majority of Democrats from the Senate. We'll have a majority of Republicans. But we'll sit down, hash it out, put that bill up for a vote. That's how this system works. But they won't even take it up. They won't take it up. They just keep talking. Meanwhile, Eric Adams says he talks about how it's hurting his city, one of our great cities. So I do not understand that. Just take our bill up.
What about Ukraine? Are you willing to move forward with an aid package for Ukraine if you're Speaker?
I'm against that. What I understand is at some point we're going to have to deal with this appropriation process in the right way. And we're going to try to do that in the next, what are we down to, 41 days. The most pressing issue on Americans' mind is not Ukraine. It is the border situation, and it is crime on the streets, and everybody knows that. So let's address those. If the Senate wants to send us something on other issues, that's their prerogative. But that's what we got to do. I think we're a conservative center-right party. I think I'm the guy who can help unite that. I think my politics are entirely consistent with where conservatives and Republicans are across the country.
So there you have it. There's one person right there. Now, I'll be honest. I don't know how I feel about Jim Jordan. You know, because for a while, I really liked Jim Jordan. But then after he came out and defended Kevin McCarthy and said that Kevin McCarthy was getting so much done for the people and blah, 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 I'm like, come on, that's a load of crap and we all know it. That's why Matt Gaetz did what he did. That's why he did what he did. So, I don't know if Jim Jordan is playing chess, not checkers, right? If he's pulling the Donald Trump strategy. And really being strategic in some of the things that he says and does, which I think Donald Trump is 100% doing at this point in time. I think Donald Trump is being very, very strategic in what he says and what he does, especially when he endorsed Kevin McCarthy. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. I think he's not trying to make enemies per se, at least in the Republican Party, until he gets into office, right? Once he gets into office, then things can change because he's seen it all. He knows where the swamp creatures are, where they're hiding, and who they are. He's seen it already. So if I'm Trump, I don't want to make enemies in the Republican Party either. I want to make as many allies in the Republican Party as I possibly can, even with the swamp creatures. Until I get into office. Once I get into office, you're all done. At least that's how I would play it. But it's a delicate balance because it's not like he can come out and say that. It's not like he can stand on stage. Yeah, I'm just playing coy with these swamp creatures. I want to make friends with them. But as soon as I get into office, they're gone. They're out of here. Right? He can't say that. You just have to read between the lines and kind of, understand who he is and how he moves. And one of the things that, and I've talked about this before, one of the things that I've noticed in his interviews, he doesn't conduct them the exact same way. He pauses. He thinks about what he's going to say before he says it. And then he employs a Democrat strategy in just repeating the same answer over and over again, even though they're trying to ask the same question in a different way. Even though they're trying to, these interviewers are trying to get like a gotcha moment from Trump. And he'll just repeat the same answer every time they ask. Just say the same thing over and over until they stop asking them it, like Democrats always do. And yeah, I was like, yeah, okay. He's playing chess with these guys. And if you noticed, he hasn't given Democrats any type of ammo to rally the troops behind in any of these interviews. Not a single one. Not a single time has he ever done it. That's strategy to me. That's strategy. So maybe Jim Jordan is doing the same thing and playing chess, not checkers, not trying to make too many enemies as of yet. because it doesn't do you a whole lot of good to make enemies right now. You know, I get where some of you are probably, some of you are probably feeling like, nah, man, F all these folks. But the thing about it is, in my humble opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, you guys let me know in the comment section, it doesn't benefit you to make a bunch of enemies amongst the swamp creatures when you're not even in the office to do anything about them, right? Make friends with them. Shake hands with them. And as soon as you're in office, expose them. I mean, they're already kind of exposed, but you know what I mean. But one of the people that, you know, is possibly going to become speaker, word out on the streets, is Uncle Trump.
Who should be speaker?
By the way, sorry about this audio. This audio is only on one side. Like, it's literally only coming through one of my headphones. So if you have in just one earbud and you don't hear it, you might want to put the other one in or disconnect your headphones or earbuds or whatever and play it through, you know, an actual speaker. If you're listening on a phone or something, I just wanted to let you guys know, for those that may not be hearing it, because I was listening to it through this headphone before and I couldn't hear anything.
Who should be speaker?
Who should be speaker?
Who should be speaker, Mr. President?
A lot of people have been calling me about speaker. All I can say is we'll do whatever's best for the country and for the Republican Party.
Would you take a job?
Great people.
Marjorie Taylor.
We have some great people.
Would you take a job?
A lot of people have asked me about it. I'm focused. You know, we're leading. I don't know you. I'm sure you don't read too much in the papers. But we're leading by like 50 points for president. You know, my focus is totally on that. If I can help them during the process, I would do it. But we have some great people in the Republican Party that could do a great job as Speaker.
Well, what about
Marjorie
you?
Taylor Greene called for you to be speaker yesterday. Did you accept?
I think she's a wonderful woman, Marjorie. A lot of other people have told me that too. I'll do whatever it is to help, but my focus, my total focus is being president and, quite honestly, making America great again, because we are living in a country in decline. This is a country that's failing badly. We're not respected in the world. Interest rates are through the roof. Taxes are through the roof. Inflation is horrible. What it's done to us, it's eating us alive. Energy is now over $5. I was at $1.87. It's over $5. What's happened to our country with Afghanistan, that horrible removal, the most embarrassing moment, I think, in our country's history. So I'm running for president. I'm up by 40 and 50 points and more in some cases. But whatever I can do to help with regard to Speaker is good. By the way, I'm also leading Biden by a lot. If I wasn't, I wouldn't have trials like this. Thank you very much. Hey,
That's facts. That's facts. So yeah, of course, you heard it right there from Uncle Trump. He's not opposed to it. And of course, that's the perfect answer. I don't think him coming out and outright saying, oh yeah, I'm excited, yeah, let's do it, would have been the great answer, because if it didn't happen, then of course the leftist media, oh look, Donald Trump lost again, oh my goodness, you know, they would have ran with it, which is another reason why I'm telling you guys, Donald Trump is being very strategic in what he says and what he does. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. Like, I couldn't have done even close to as good of a job as he's doing. Like, I would have slipped up at some point, right? It might have been right there. I'd be like, oh yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I'll be Speaker of the House. And then I would have lost, and then all leftist media would have, you know, rallied behind that. Look, Donald Trump lost again. He can't even win Speaker of the House, you know? Or Rich lost Speaker of the House. Look, he can't even win that. What makes you think he's going to win presidency? You know, that would have been the narrative, of course. I can see it now. We know the leftist media, right? I mean, we can read them like a darn book at this point. So, my question to all of you, how do you guys feel? Do you think Trump should be Speaker? Because if he is Speaker of the House, he has subpoena power, which would make things very, very interesting, in my humble opinion, right? There may be some type of loophole, you know, that I'm not aware of. You know, let me know in the comment section. But as far as I know, he would have subpoena power being Speaker of the House, which would be absolutely incredible. And it would also make the left go crazy. They would just lose their minds. Donald Trump being Speaker, holding the gavel. You know, oh man, that'd be a sight to see for sure. Or do you think someone like Jim Jordan? Do you guys have concerns about Jim Jordan, or do you think he's playing chess and not checkers like Donald Trump? Let me know. I have some questions about Jim Jordan. Obviously, in the clip that I showed, he said some great things, of course, that, I can agree with, but I don't know. Even somebody like Byron Donalds, I'm questioning him too, because he wasn't one of the 8 that voted to get rid of Kevin McCarthy. What's going on, Byron? What's up with that? I just have questions, and I feel like those questions are legitimate. Why wasn't somebody like Byron a part of the 8 that voted to get rid of McCarthy? Where you at? And you guys know I'm someone who supports Byron Donalds, right? I love Byron Donalds. Love Byron. I mean, in every Trump clip at this point where Trump's out in public, we all know who we see. We see Byron, which is kind of interesting. It makes you think, Byron Donalds, vice president? I don't know. It just makes you think. Byron's always with Trump now at this point. Have you guys noticed that? Whenever you see Trump out in public, Byron's pretty close. It's interesting. It's interesting. But anyway, how you guys feeling about Byron? I mean, I don't know, man. At this point, I'm just really confused. Matt Gaetz endorsed Jim Jordan, so I guess that kind of gives Jim Jordan a couple brownie points, right? Because at this point, I'm rocking with Matt Gaetz. I guess I should. I don't know, man. All of this is so confusing and just, and it is crazy because we checked out a video with Tucker Carlson yesterday, and he was talking about that exact thing. If you're kind of feeling confused, it's intentional. And yeah, man, I mean, there's just so much, Jim Jordan defended Kevin McCarthy, but Matt Gaetz stood up for Jim Jordan twice, actually, because I believe he stood up for Jim Jordan for Speaker of the House the first go round. And now again, maybe Jim Jordan's playing chess and Matt Gaetz knows that. I don't know. How you guys feeling? Talk to me. But shout out to Matt Gaetz once again. Big shout out to Matt Gaetz. Love your brother. And, obviously the swamp creatures are coming after Matt Gaetz now, which is to be expected. I think they're going to come for all 8 of those Republicans that stood up and said no to McCarthy. To be expected. But it also exposes that they are the ones that are pushing for we the people, right? It's the same thing with Uncle Trump. The one person that's standing up for we the people is the one person that's being punished. I'm just saying. They're trying to punish Matt Gaetz. They're also, I heard, allegedly trying to punish at least a couple of the people amongst the 8 that voted with Matt Gaetz, which is kind of interesting. Shows something right there. But as always, y'all let me know your thoughts and your opinions in the comment section below. Peace and love, family. I'm out.